If you lost a dream job without warning overnight, would you take that opportunity to pursue a risky, crazy, off the wall lifetime dream? Or would you play it safe? A job in a warehouse or delivering pizzas? In the first of this series, children's book author Jay Risner shared the utterly improbable story of how he came to write and illustrate a series of kids' books that dads and grandpas loved just as much as their children. While Jay told us his story last time, this time he tells us the story of Mr. Cow and his sidekick Chuckles, the toad. So move over, Mickey, and get ready to meet my new favorite cow median, Mr. Cow, on History Bro OS. Do you remember the old Red Green show?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I
Love
had to
that
get
show.
some great story ideas from the Red Green show.
A little segue. My favorite part of the Red Green Show was the cartoons with Fire Marshal Bill. Do you remember those?
Yes.
He makes Superman look like a little kid. His chest is so big.
Yep.
And oh, those were so funny. I love those. Yeah, that's a
Who's the
great
guy
show.
who did the advertisements for pumping out septic tanks?
Child sewage and septic
That's right.
service.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting one for Mr. Cow to encounter
Oh man.
the
Well,
septic tank. There
well,
you
a
get
fun
your
thing.
bathroom humor in without really having.
Yeah, kind of sort of. The funny thing is, this was actually not a story that Jill introduced. He has these Couchland adventures. So what happens
Yes.
is his buddy, who is Chuckles the Toad, comes over. They watch a show, promptly fall asleep on the couch. I've got a brother-in-law who does that. He can watch two things: the Green Bay Packers and John Wayne. Everything else he's going to sleep through. So they sit on the couch. Hey, this is my favorite whatever show, and then they immediately fall asleep on the couch, and they have this shared dream state Couchland adventure. And then a couple books later, he is at work. I have him working at a temp agency. And working at a temp agency allows him to do a whole host of jobs. They're always asking him, hey, Mr. Cow, do you have any experience doing whatever? And he'll say, oh, yeah, one time in Couchland, person asking him these questions, she's too busy to vet it. What the heck is Couchland? She's just,
Yeah.
okay, fine. It sounds like you know what you're doing. Here, go to this address. I think I have done 3 of those. Couchland at work, Couchland at work. I've got ideas for more of those.
I also love the door of forgetfulness. But before we get to that, let's lay a little groundwork for Mr. Cow. Because some of the people that I've talked to about the book live in a small town, a village actually, agricultural. So one of the first things I've been asked maybe 3 times, does your friend know that cows are females?
Yes.
So I'll give you an opportunity to explain that
Explain
if you
that.
have an explanation.
Sure. And it's a great question. I remember when I toyed around with different names, and
Uh-huh.
none of them landed well. At this point, I'm committed because I'm working on book 20.
Yeah.
He's a male.
Yeah.
So it'd be Mr.
Bull.
But I don't want to call him Mr. Bull. Mr. Bull what? Bull blank. Well,
Yes.
and I'm trying hard to avoid adult humor. Oftentimes that's code for crudeness and stuff that you don't want to introduce kids to.
You want me to give my explanation? You can have this if you want it.
Okay.
I'd say, don't you know that cows are matrilineal? And I say, so many cultures do that. It's Mr. Cow because they have a matrilineal culture in naming.
I'd never considered that.
And of course, then people say, Liam, you use big words. What's matrilineal? And then I explain it. And then they say, yeah, that's it. Okay, I get it.
Okay. And the funny thing is, in these books, sometimes I'll use big words. There's one where he's having an argument with the little girl next door. You have Mr. Cow and the friendly disagreement.
Yeah.
And he argues at one point that her cat, that he misnames, was engaged in irresponsible financial activity. And of course, she doesn't even know what that means. This character, I probably think of her as about being 9 years old. And she says, I don't even know, what does that even mean?
So kids would turn to their dad who's reading it and say, what in the world does that mean? And dad has an opportunity to talk about irresponsible financial behavior. It's like when we give you 50 cents to go to the store and get this, and instead of that, you get something that's bad for you. So that begs the question then. The premise seems to be something about there are two perspectives coming to these books. One are dads and one are
Hmm.
kids.
Right.
First of all, explain why dads probably more than moms, and then explain
Sure.
how the interaction with the reading dads works with the kids.
Dads more than moms. I really feel like dads are forgotten. The last job that I had where I was working in an office space, I was one of the older guys, but some of the guys had young kids. And he comes home from work, long day at work. He's got a lot of stress. He's trying to provide for his family, trying to be a good dad, trying to be a good husband and a good father. He wants to interact with his kids, gets home from work, and his kid brings him a book and says, "Hey, Dad, read me this book." And maybe it's like Little Bunny Frou Frou, or let's find a hidden character on a page, or it's just something really cutesy. And I think the dad is probably not interested in that. I don't mean this to sound disparaging, but it feels dutiful. He'll do it, maybe out of duty, because he needs to. I want him to have a book that his kid brings because the kid thinks it's funny. Because there's a very simple level of humor. The dad can relate to this a little bit and think, okay, that's funny. Humor there that I can relate to. Like even the very first one, the flagship book, Mr. Cow Builds a Swing. He's got this grand idea. I'm going to build the little girl next door this huge swing. I don't need a plan. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's not something a mom's going to say. That's something a dad's going to say. All I need is to keep the coffee coming. I'll grab some lumber and a chainsaw and I'll build a swing. I actually did that. I remember over 20 years ago, she had one of those metal swings, and it stands maybe 6 feet tall, and she had outgrown it. It was falling apart. She needs a new swing. I can build one. I'm not a handy guy. I'm lying in bed at night thinking, I could probably build this. It's pretty simple. It's just an A-frame structure and put something across. So that's what I did. I went and got some lumber and I slapped this thing together. And I remember at one point, I'm building this and my daughter's helping me. She's a little kid, but I'm putting the drill in place and having her put her hands on it and drill down into it and put some screws in. And at one point I'm putting these pieces together and my wife Stacy comes out and she sees something that doesn't quite make sense. She says, "Are you sure?" And I cut her off. I was in flow. I'd never done this at any point in our marriage up to this point, and I've never done it since.
Yeah.
Only one time in marriage. I looked at her and the hand goes up that basically says, "Shut up, woman. I know what I'm doing." And she went back inside. 5 minutes later, I came in and said, "I was wrong. And you were right." And we both had a good laugh about it. We've been laughing about it ever since. I can build this. Well, do you have a plan? Nah, it's in my head. I know what I'm doing. And he dives in, and then at some point, he gets into a certain point and thinks, you know what, maybe I should have at least sketched this out a little bit because it's not going the way I saw it in my head. And that comes up, the second book, Mr. Cow and the Duke of Duct Tape. You can fix anything with duct tape. It just feels like guy humor. But for the kids, I strive to keep it innocent and clean. I don't want to ever have something in the book that requires an explanation. There are things that I, as the author, enjoy. I enjoy a good cigar, the occasional Merlot, and shooting firearms. Those are things that I don't introduce in these books because I want parents to enjoy it, but never be in a position where it puts a burden upon them where they are required to explain something. But there's this opportunity to look at things a little deeper. The closest I get to is, and this isn't negative, it's the Mr. Cow Has a Sad Friend. I forget what book that is, 5 or something. The little girl next door, the person who's the kid, the person who's got their head screwed on straight. And this is the stupidity of the idiot in juxtaposition to the person who has the head screwed on straight. And so he tries all these crackpot ideas to try to make her happy, to try to force her to cheer up, which you can't. The inspiration for this was Job. Sitting there in despair, his friends showed up, and for a few days they said nothing. They just sat. And then it all went downhill when they started giving advice.
If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to check out Jay's books. They're perfect for family story time and packed with humor that parents won't groan at. Links are in the description below. And hey, if there's a story you've been holding on to for years, maybe now is the time to bring it to life. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories just like this one. Look for part 3 in this series.